They told you youth was the secret to desire. They lied. In Carl Jung's hidden works, he uncovered an ancestral erotic force that only mature women can access. A power so potent it disarms even the most evolved man. This force awakens through 8 sacred vices, condemned as dirty by a world that fears feminine power. But each is a key to an ancient magnetism that young women can't fake. Today, I'll reveal these 8 forbidden gifts and how to awaken an allure that bypasses flesh and speaks straight to a man's soul. The combination of the 4th and 7th vices is so powerful that even Jung warned of its danger. It was once guarded by tantric priestesses until it was erased. Today's world fed you a myth that erotic power fades with age. That lie has severed millions of women from their own fire. Jung's work found the opposite. In pre-patriarchal cultures, mature women were the gatekeepers of OS, of sacred sensual wisdom. They didn't just teach, they initiated. And the reason was simple. No young woman, however flawless, could rival the erotic force of one who had integrated her shadow. That shadow, what Jung called the hidden self, is everything you've been told to deny. Instinct, urge, rage, hunger. For centuries, women were taught to suppress it. Be polite, measured, appealing, but not too much. But Jung found something radical. True erotic magnetism begins when a woman stops hiding. The power doesn't come from pretending. It comes from reintegrating what was buried and transforming those so-called vices into sacred fire. This is the first secret. What society shames, your soul reveres. Each of these vices is not a flaw, but a virtue, a power, a signal. And this isn't about tricks or poses. It's an energetic rebirth, a return to the untamed, to what Clarissa Pinkola Este called the wild woman, the one who doesn't ask permission to exist. As we go through these 8 vices, I'll guide you through how to find them in yourself, how to awaken them, and how to embody the magnetism that belongs only to women who have lived. But I won't lie to you, this path isn't easy. It demands a breaking, a rebellion against all the lies you were taught about what it means to be a good woman. You will have to face parts of yourself you've buried. But what you'll gain can't be measured in words. Before the first vice, you need to understand one thing Jung discovered. Young erotic energy is performative. It reaches outward hoping to be desired. But a mature woman's energy doesn't seek. It radiates. It pulses from a center so deep it can't be faked. Eastern traditions call it the lower dantian, the creative womb. It's not performative. It's not trying to please. It is. And so we begin with the first sacred vice, bold vulnerability. The courage to express desire without masks, without filters, without seduction games. The willingness to show up, raw, present, unapologetic. To say, this is what I want. This is what I crave. With no shame, no softening. This terrifies patriarchy. Because a woman who owns her desire cannot be controlled. She isn't waiting to be chosen. She is choosing, and for immature men that's threatening. But to an evolved man, it's irresistible. Because they sense this isn't just honesty, it's power, it's soul. Sonia, 54, told me how this changed everything. After decades of playing safe, she let herself speak her full desire to her partner, eye to eye. No games, no performance, just truth. He didn't just become aroused, he recognized her. That night was a turning point, not because of technique, but because she had stopped hiding, and that presence awakened something in him too. Because this vice is not a trick. It's an energy. When you embody it, you activate what ancient Taoists called the jade path, a current between your sex center, heart, and third eye. That current can be felt by anyone attuned enough. If this resonates, don't dismiss it. That pull you feel, that yes in your body, is your wild self stirring. Subscribe now if you want to go deeper. In coming videos, I'll teach the practices that bring each vice to life. And if you're ready, your whole being will feel it. Now, the second sacred vice, sacred selfishness. This one cuts deep, because it goes against everything you've been taught. Sacred selfishness is the ability to put your pleasure first, to center your rhythm, to lead. It's a direct rebellion against the idea that women should be passive, that you should wait, that your pleasure is an afterthought. Ancient tantric priestesses knew the truth. Female pleasure is not a bonus. It is the engine, the fire that transforms, the path to the divine. In classical Tantra, the woman's orgasm was a sacred event, a bridge to cosmic intelligence. So they trained women not to apologize for pleasure, but to wield it. Jung rediscovered this in his studies. He noticed that women who embraced sacred selfishness glowed with a different light. Not the glow of youth, but the glow of total ownership. And that glow attracts not just any man, but one who senses that this woman could awaken something real. You see, a mature man doesn't want a woman who disappears to please him. He wants a woman who provokes him, who calls him deeper, who dares to show him who she is and demands his presence in return. Louisa, 57, told me how this shifted everything in her marriage. After years of silence and pretending, she finally said what she needed. She guided her partner. She stopped faking, and instead of rejection, she met gratitude, desire, liberation for both of them. Because sacred selfishness is not just about receiving, it is an offering, an energetic awakening that flows through both bodies. In tantric terms, it activates the kundalini, the spiral force that moves up the spine. When a woman owns this, she doesn't just attract, she transforms. You can awaken it now. Find a quiet space. Sit still. Breathe deep into your pelvic center. Visualize a golden sphere pulsing with warmth. Let it expand through your spine, heart, crown. This is your pleasure. It's not shameful. It's sacred. Whisper it to yourself. My pleasure is sacred. My desire is divine. My satisfaction is a gift to life. Do this 7 days in a row. You'll feel it, a quiet shift in how you carry your power. Now we arrive at the third vice, proud imperfection. This is the revolution of the body. To love your body not despite age, but because of it. To honor the lines, the scars, the softness. Not as flaws, but as emblems, stories, proof. This vice is about rejecting youth-centric beauty standards and reclaiming your flesh as sacred. Jung found that in tribal cultures untouched by patriarchy, the mature body was revered. Breasts, bellies, hips, these were signs of wisdom, not blemishes. Because deep down, an evolved man isn't attracted to flawlessness. He's drawn to presence, confidence, ease. Elena, 62, shared that she used to make love with the lights off, ashamed of her changing body. Then she stopped. She moved freely. She let herself be seen. And what awakened in her partner was raw, wild, and real. That's because when you embrace proud imperfection, your yin energy expands, and that pulls his yang energy in. It's a dance of nature, beyond logic. To claim this vice, try the mirror ritual. Stand naked before a mirror. Breathe. Touch each part of your body. Thank your hands, your thighs, your belly. Say it aloud. I am sacred in every curve, in every line, in every change. If this touches something in you, don't ignore it. This isn't surface. This is soul remembering itself. Now we arrive at the fourth sacred vice, the one Jung considered the most potent, the most transformative. Total presence. This is the ability to stop time, to drop into a state where nothing exists but the moment. Every sensation becomes a universe. Every breath, a silent prayer. Total presence means surrendering control. Letting go of thought, image, fear, and dissolving into experience. It's an altered state, a trance, a gateway, and it terrifies the modern world. Because in this state, a woman becomes untouchable. She is not reacting. She is not pleasing. She is radiant, undeniable, uncontrollable. In this space, she accesses what society fears most: feminine power unbound by rules. Jung found that when a woman entered this energetic trance, evolved men were magnetized, not by lust, but by recognition, a call that awakened their most primal knowing. Clara, 59, told me she had always stayed guarded. Even in moments of intimacy, a part of her remained elsewhere, alert, hidden, holding back. When she began practicing conscious surrender, something opened. One night, as she slipped fully into presence, her partner responded with a depth and passion that stunned them both. It wasn't just sex, it was union. Because this state activates Shakti, the wild feminine force, which awakens Shiva in the man, a sacred polarity. When these forces meet, they generate what ancient texts called sexual samadhi, divine erotic ecstasy. To cultivate total presence, try the orgasmic breath meditation. Find stillness. Lie down. Inhale deeply, belly, chest. Exhale with sound. Imagine your breath entering through your sexual center, spiraling up your spine. Let it flow up and down in a loop. Don't force. Just feel. Your body may begin to move. Let it. This is the energy. Trust it. Now the fifth sacred vice, forbidden imagination. This is the key to your erotic realm, your hidden fantasies, your unspoken longings, all the desires you buried to stay appropriate. It's time to unearth them. This vice is the art of imagination, not as escape, but as power. In ancient tantric paths, women trained their imaginations to create pleasure, summon partners, alter energy. It wasn't make-believe. It was magic. Jung saw it too. The creative power of the feminine unconscious. Women who embraced their erotic imagination radiated mystery, depth, allure. Because they were unbound. Men sense it, even if they don't understand why. A woman living from this place invites them into realms they've never touched and may not be ready for. Maria, 56, kept her fantasies hidden for decades. Ashamed. She feared rejection. But when she shared them with her partner, everything shifted. He didn't recoil. He opened. They entered a new space of freedom, of shared truth. Because this vice isn't about fantasy alone, it's about energy. When spoken with presence, desire becomes vakshi, the tantric word power that bends reality. Sharing becomes co-creation. To awaken this gift, try the Hidden Desires Journal. Each night, write whatever arises. No editing, no judgment. Let your erotic psyche speak. You don't need to act on it. Just listen. The act of writing is an invocation, a spell. Keep the journal safe. It is your temple. The sixth sacred vice is the most mystical, spiritual power. The ability to merge sex and spirit. To understand that erotic energy is spiritual energy, the same life force, flowing through different channels. This vice breaks the old religious split. It reminds us, pleasure is not sin. It's gateway. When you realize this, your sexuality becomes prayer. Your breath becomes worship. Your body becomes temple. To activate this vice, try the light sphere meditation. Lie still. Breathe. Visualize a golden sphere glowing at your pelvic center. Let it expand with every inhale. Rise up. Sacral, solar, heart, throat, third eye, crown. Then let it flow back down. Create a loop, a current. Feel sex and spirit merge. You are not divided. You are whole. Now, The seventh sacred vice, the one Jung deemed dangerously magnetic when combined with total presence, conscious transgression. This is your power to break rules with awareness, to stop asking permission, to stop shrinking, to reclaim the parts of you that defy polite expectation. For centuries, you were told what was acceptable, what was decent, but deep in your body, you know the truth. Freedom lives outside the lines. This isn't rebellion for show. It's soul-deep choice. It's walking away from conditioning, not with anger, but with grace. When a woman lives this, she becomes ungovernable, not because she is defiant, but because she is true. And men who are ready, they don't run, they bow. Because transgression isn't vulgarity, it's liberation. It's remembering that your sexuality is not a commodity, not a performance, not a role. It's you. To touch this vice, ask yourself, where do I still seek permission? What parts of me am I still silencing to stay lovable? What rules no longer serve me? Then break one, just one, with intention, and see what power returns. And now, the final sacred vice, the hidden key that completes the circuit, reverent rebellion. This is the choice to become your own law, to stop living according to others' projections and to live by the truth humming in your bones. Reverent rebellion is not rage. It is rooted defiance. It is grace that will not bend. It says, I am no longer available for roles that shrink me. I will not apologize for my hunger, my age, my knowing. This vice makes you a mirror, and not everyone will like what they see. But the man who's ready will feel it like thunder. He will sense your frequency before he understands it, because you're not asking to be loved. You're becoming love itself. This is the energy of the ancient priestess, not mystical for show, but because she dares to exist fully. She has stopped editing her body. She has stopped explaining her depth. She simply is. To step into this final vice, ask, where am I still shrinking to stay safe? What part of me have I deemed too much? What would it feel like to trust her instead? Then give her space. Give her voice. Let her speak through your movement, your desire, your silence. Because when you live this vice, you create a magnetic field that reorders the room. You become the invitation. You become the pulse that reminds men of the divine, not through effort, but through embodiment. And this is what Jung discovered at the core of it all. When a woman stops betraying herself, she becomes impossible to ignore. This is not a script. This is a remembering. If something in you feels tender, if part of you feels seen or haunted, this message wasn't for your mind. It was for the part of you that has waited quietly for someone to say, you don't need to go back. The doorway is here, in you. If that doorway opened even a crack, take a step through. Subscribe to stay close, but only if you feel it in your body. And if you're ready to go deeper, to integrate these sacred vices not just in thought but in being, the Carl Jung Code of Relationships course is the full rite of passage. No pressure, just resonance. The link is below. Or simply write OS in the comments. If you know, you know. And if all you do is let this message live in you a little longer, that's enough. Let it echo in the quiet. Let it soften something inside. Let it begin